Ba 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 ba. We can't take it back now. It's Film Sprint. Back to basics. I'm Jeremy. That's Deming. We're here. We're back. We missed y'all so much.
I missed you guys a lot. I missed Jeremy some, but I talk to him more than I get to talk to you all.
Getting
So
lots of
I
love
missed
for
you
our
less,
new
Jeremy.
Universal opening in the chat. We're glad you like it. By the way, that is available in full 4K. It'll be like the full backdrop to our website or something. We'll figure something out. We're just goofing.
I am proud.
I'm delighted. We're doing it. It's our first round of 2021. And pretty much we're back. We're doing it. Back to basics. Tell me you want to.
We're back and we're basicer than ever.
That's what we're about. So, why don't you talk a little about what's why I decided to go this way, Dammers?
Okay, yes. Very good question. So Jeremy and I burnt ourselves out because we did 2 back-to-back mega sprints and we loved them so much that then we needed to sleep and do a lot of substances.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we were like, you know what? I bet through the powers of empathy that I could infer that not unlike us, filmmakers are also burnt out. Mm-hmm. And that we probably need to do something simple, straightforward, easy, right? Like a Kit Kat bar. You need no frills. So as a result,
baby.
We legitimately sat back. We keep like a document of like our goals and our visions. Mm-hmm. And the number one thing is about building a filmmaker community and making people feel welcome. And I think that part of that entails having challenges like this one, where it's just quite straightforward and it's not a week long and there's not a sprint keeper.
Yeah, we decided no sprint keepers required on this one. But this is a fun one for sure. We got 5 returning teams. All of whom I would say
were all really good.
They were all really
unfortunately.
Good. All of the films were like, I would say for the respective artists, steps forward. You know, I think everybody improved at their respective things they were going for in this round. It's really exciting.
Wait, Jeremy, before we share, do you have like a favorite moment with these filmmakers from any of our calls, any of our shared correspondences?
So
do you have like a fond memory to share? It doesn't have to be ultimate favorite. I know that's tricky.
I have like I have one that's like almost too heartfelt, but I'm gonna drop it because it's very sweet. So a friend of mine, and I mentioned this once before on the stream, a friend of mine passed away recently. His name was Dick Callahan. He was the public address announcer for the Oakland A's, and I had posted a few things on various social medias that just kind of commemorating him. And our own Dina Hervey of Old Soul sent me a condolence card in the mail. I've only ever known Dina. I've only known her for about 4 months, and I've only ever known her through this. And I feel like that kind of like love and support and solidarity that we've seen in this community is as indicative as anything that we do cool stuff here. Cool people.
It's nice.
It is. It really
is.
Nice. It's nice. So that's a big one. That's a biggie. Appreciate you.
It's a biggie.
We got just. Oh, I see Dina saying she blew all this makeup. We're only on Twitch. Don't worry. At the conclusion of this stream, once we finish doing the awards and the films, we are going to hop on a Zoom call that all the filmmakers got an email about, and then we're gonna do that Zoom call for a while and have a little kind of like post-show wrap-up, like when they do a season of MTV's The Challenge, and then they get everybody on separate couches, and they all talk about their experience. So it's gonna be great. Yeah. We're gonna have that going on at the conclusion of
Big
our
Mahalo evening. Energy. It's gonna be so.
It's gonna be great. Hey, let's talk a little about.
You have about an.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I mean, to cut you
sorry.
off.
I just wanted to give Dina. Sorry, I just wanted to say, Dina. So obviously your makeup is impeccable. Yeah. You have an hour to get your lighting right.
That's exactly it. So, but don't put the lights too close to your eyes, or you're gonna miss all these great films. Hey, Deming, let's talk about the required elements for this back to basics round, shall we?
That sounds
Well,
amazing.
here they are. All these films had to include a bill. They had to include the classic freeze frame exaltation. I bet you're wondering how I got here. That one had some weird capitalization. And they all had to include a wipe edit. All the films had work done from February 5th to the 7th. That was our time frame for this one. Basically, a little over 48 hours. We let them go a little bit late because Sunday was the Super Bowl. And so we wanted to make sure everybody would have an opportunity to get their stuff in case they had somebody who was being distracting in their home. What? Nothing. It wasn't anything. So we had
Katy Perry concert.
Yeah, it was, ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. So we basically had our back to basics round. These filmmakers, they pulled out all the stops. So let's give a little let's shout out the filmmakers of this round, shall we? We had
wait, can I give like an additional sort of sorry.
Oh no.
So just one add-on to what you've said, to these like deliberately ambiguous, deliberately basic kind of things. I do want to like say, for anybody that started watching these kind of recently, normally I guess for the past few rounds, we've given folks like a week or so to create a film. And I super want to highlight the fact that all of these films were actually made over a weekend. I know Jeremy said it. I just want to say, like, to all of these amazingly talented filmmakers, that's incredible. And you guys are all like also really hot, which is unnecessary, but
clean it nice. Up. Dirty up a little bit, y'all. Stop looking so clean. We basically we got some great teams, top to bottom, T to B. We're kicking off tonight with Old Soul. That's Dina Hervey. The Marlboro Witch Trials. A little background on this one is that it came in a little late. There were some issues, and so it's being considered for awards based on the stuff that was able to get done during the time window, but has been disqualified from Best Film and some of the other awards. We have The Wonder Child from Almost Swayze. Lacey McCarter of Trimotor / Snub This fame from our previous two rounds is coming back with her own team, this time bringing her little kid Anna along for the ride for a spectacular superhero historical fiction. We'll get into the background of that historical fiction a little later. Then it's going to be eFilms Pro's Coffee and Conspiracies, followed by eFilms Pro back for their third straight round, and they have been cranking out bangers.
After fucking
they dominated
language, but
we're gonna watch our language here in the early going.
Ooh, after just bending Sprint actually by the waist.
Yep, we're keeping it nice and PG. They really had a great sprint actually, and we're I'll say another great highlight from the community. I don't know whether or not this is meant to be public, but it will be now. Our own Chad Hudson of eFilms Pro used some of his sprint actually winnings to buy merch for all of the other filmmakers who had participated in the round, just to kind of show a little love and solidarity for some fellow artists. Yeah. That's what we're all about. After eFilms Pro's Coffee and Conspiracies, we'll get Fueled by Wine, which is the new name for Jason Vickovich's
Positive Vibes.
Positive Vibes, and then before that they were Sonoma Wino, and I think before that they were called something positive. Their film was called Black Harvest. I think they drew Thriller is what I want to say. I can't remember. We'll figure it out.
It was like fantasy thriller. Some sort of horror fantasy. Yeah.
And then we'll be bringing up the rear with Wolfman Entertainment's A Guide to Heisting. They drew Heist, and then they kind of tossed out the other category, decided to focus on that one as their jumping off point. And that one, Wolfman also back from a great performance in their previous round. Their previous round was Bright Sprint, where they took home the big money for Don't Wake 'Em. That classic, crazy ghost communicating through a wood toy. Oops, I accidentally put my arm in the garbage disposal film.
Yeah, the Don't Wake Daddy. Yeah.
Just like Don't Wake Daddy, that classic board game, which I assume the film was inspired by. I don't know if we've ever talked about that.
It is a synthesis of both board games and Not Waking Daddy. So
much. We have exciting prizes for our filmmakers, and we'll get into that as we go along. But I think we've talked enough. I think we're ready to get it going. We've run 2 countdowns.
I'm limber.
Uh-huh.
I'm fluid.
That's important.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's get...
Do we need it? Wait, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
sorry, quick question. Do we need another countdown?
Okay. I was thinking we could give a quick 5-minute countdown before we show the next film, but I think we're probably safe. Just press
the next film, the first film.
The next and
Let's
first
show the
film,
first
which briefly interrupted our first countdown, necessitating our second countdown. Without further ado, Tina Hervey's Old Souls, Marlborough Witch Trials.
I lived with my family on a farm. We had a lovely stone home made under a large cypress tree. It was beautiful. We didn't have a horse and we had to walk everywhere we went. This is the township we lived in, and only the menfolk were allowed to smoke. But women of the town liked to partake of the tobacco too. So I began growing tobacco for us women folk behind the men's backs. The leaves were lovely and golden and tasted better than the Salem tobacco the men smoked. But one day, a man found a bill for tobacco papers and matches that fell from a woman's pocket. Her name was Esther Bishop, and she told them where the woman was that they were getting their tobacco from, which was me. They took me to a dungeon to make me tell them how I grew better tobacco than the Salem brand. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Then I was in court, and the women were horrified and scared and worried that they would be burned alive. If I shared my growing skills with the men, they agreed to let me go, so I did. They saw how beautiful the leaves were and the way I mixed the tobacco for smoking. Now the men and women celebrated together, and they named the women's tobacco Marlborough after me first name. So in order to save face with the other colonies, the men said that they were conducting witch trials in Salem. But we all knew the real truth of the matter, and now so do you. So now you will understand why I have a blindfold on, in order to keep my privacy and to keep my kinfolk safe.
The stills and the voiceover, like, you could go even further with that because it's like a, it's an actual style of film that exists. So
some good amount of care was put into like how the timing of it worked, like how the editing was punctuating her narration. And I did think it was like a clever story.
It was. I thought it was really fun.
I was really impressed. I don't know. I thought it was nice.
I'll be brave and I'll be the one to say it. I noticed it was not quite a film. As much as a slideshow. But yeah, like you said, there were definite choices. There was a style that was consistent throughout, which is more than I can say for many, many salespeople I work with who put together PowerPoints.
God, yeah. It had all of the qualities of PowerPoint, but it didn't feel like one.
Exactly.
So that's her.
The PowerPoint had like a really well considered and well timed soundtrack. I think it would have benefited her to pick a few shots to actually film and just sprinkle them in. It makes you get a lot of leeway to do like 8 pictures in a row if there's one video. Like if you have one reenactment or one interview with a descendant, I think it gives you a lot more play. Hey, there you have it. That was Old Souls Marlborough Witch Trials, followed by, as you may have seen there, the judges' deliberations from that round. Let's talk about the judges for a second, Deming, shall we?
I liked the blonde one.
I did notice, Deming, that when you left your comments for the judging round, that under your written comments, you said that you were very offended that nobody had commented that you had a new haircut. But your nice haircut looks good. Yeah. I missed my appointment for mine by having not ever had
which one?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so back to the other judges.
Let's talk about the other judges. This was, I think, the first time that I arranged all of our judges for a homebound round. No big deal. No biggie fries. Kate Schroeder, who is a known theater person and film and television aficionado. Her biggest cred is that she was maybe not her single biggest credit, but the story that was most relatable at a party is that she was the stage manager for Shakespeare in the Park, featuring Al Pacino. And one time Al Pacino gave her the other half of his sandwich from Carnegie Deli. That's a true story.
I would say that in my universe, like in my world, she's most famous for having come up with the concept of Sprint Actually.
That's also true. Yeah, that's a big fact. We also had, of course, Devin Cassidy, our humble benefactor, and pretty much an ideas person who is also visible on the screen right now. We had me, and also
technically studied film and whatnot, just like you. But you studied behind the camera. I studied the movie parts.
Right. That's right. I wasn't going to mention my credentials either. Yeah, we both have studied film in our respective spheres. You, of course, are a master of theory, and I am a advanced at production, a seeking mastery. And I also would
proficient raves.
I would be remiss
people
to not mention one of our first legacy judges, which is Amanda Dalton, who, of course, is a former champion in her own right, having won for Living with the Living, an all-time Film Sprint classic. Pretty spectacular. We love it.
I would say if we're talking tip to tail babe.
Sure, absolutely. And she nails it as 3 separate characters in her performance. I could be mistaken. I think this is the first Film Sprint round in our homebound history that does not have anybody playing multiple characters. Am I mistaken? Oh, nope, I'm mistaken.
You were 100% wrong.
I'm 100% wrong. Of course, I forgot. Such an important contribution. We'll get to that later. But actually, we're going to jump.
Stay tuned to find out who plays a bunch of characters.
Well, that's like a interesting going.
Coming up next time.
Of course, excuse me. Friendship acquired. Big shout out to Devin's immaculate wardrobe changes. This is true. I went from. I just kept it fresh. Filmsprint saved my 2020. Hey, if you want one of these hoodies, you can scroll down, click on the merch store, or go to filmsprint.com and click on the shop button at the top. Pretty dope. Yeah, check that out. We're gonna have an announcement about new merch. The design is not yet launched, but we will be announcing some new merch by the end of tonight as well. So That's exciting.
It's good.
Let's move on to the next
Graves, people.
This
oh my gosh,
is,
I'm so excited for the next one.
This one, we had to make sure we played early in the evening because it features our youngest competitor in this round, one of our youngest ever, Miss Anna McCarter, who is the daughter of Lacey in our upcoming film, The Wonder Child, Almost Swayze. Now, a little bit of background as Deming slow claps. Just a little bit of background on this one. Very enjoyable. We basically, we gave them their categories they drew at random were historical fiction and superhero. And in discussing what genre, or excuse me, what era their historical fiction should be set, young Anna said that the historical era she would most like to revisit was the 1990s. And everybody else...
Ye old 1990s!
Everybody else, when we heard that story, we aged like we had just drank from the wrong grail. It was horrible.
Yeah. We
it
took
hurts.
a sneak peek at the Ark, and we all melted.
Yeah, we all peeked at the Ark, which we, of course, you should not do. If there's one thing
my Tamagotchi rolled in its grave.
So there. Keep your eyes peeled for some astute 90s references in Almost Swayze's The Wonder Child.
It's good. P.S. Spoiler alert.
I'm gonna be so mad.
Your father is not going to be happy about this.
Fruit snack?
Do you understand why you're in here?
I'm not supposed to fight crime without my room being clean or my homework not being done.
Yes. So you're going to stay in here until it's clean. Or no pizza, no ice cream.
I don't even like pizza.
Okay, then no going to the Lion King this weekend.
I bet you're wondering how I got here. Sometimes it can be hard. Being a superhero isn't always as fun as it seems. Sometimes it gets you into a lot of trouble. Like, when I saved the mayor from a burning building, we should get paid for that. But, nope, we get the bill. Hi, Mom! Hi, Mom!
Whoa, what's this?
The bill!
The bill? What? Not again! Honey!
You know what? This room won't clean itself. Oh, wait. It will.
Hey, did you hear? Oh, see? That wasn't so bad.
I had a little help.
Well, you did good, kid. Come on. Don't look at the camera. Do it again. Ignore me.
Help away and her trusty sidekick. Calm girl with her sidekick, Puppy.
Can you do it without looking at the camera?
Help away and her trusty sidekick. Calm girl and Puppy.
Very cute.
It was so cute. It should be like on the Disney Channel immediately.
Holy cow.
As a series that I can watch where her mom keeps being like, why are we getting billed for this? You have to stop.
Okay, can I just, sorry, my feedback when she did the part where she was like, oh, we should be getting credit, but all we get is the bill. I'm like, okay, I thought only AOC could pull off being charming and woke.
I know.
Little nugget. Holy cow.
So
She was
good.
so good.
I
With
loved
her
her.
pogs.
The pogs killed me.
I thought it was such a cute Nickelodeon gimmick that the bill was for exactly $10,000.
Yes.
Like the superhero remodeled a bathroom in a city office.
Right.
And
Yeah, like there was some sort of city hall meeting and they were
Yeah.
just like, listen, we're just gonna have to charge her $10,000 every time. this
Annabelle
happens."
knocked a lot of grout loose in the second floor bathrooms, and we're gonna need to bring somebody up here all week. Wow. What a submish. That was pretty spectacular. I mean, loving some of this chat. People are really missing pogs. Lacey says in the story her mom forgot to change the date back and sent out some invoices dated in the 90s. I personally was excited to see Moncala in that film.
I know. I felt like, oh my gosh, this is just like back when I had friends that could afford to go to Montessori school, so I didn't. I'm over here in my government housing playing Portuguese like a chump.
Or maybe cribbage. You get a cribbage board, get some pegs.
I mean, I would hope one day.
Yeah, shout out to cribbage in the chat, everybody. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm wearing a vintage tee
In
for
honor
this.
of our,
It says Fright
our
Sprint.
throwback. Yeah, we'll probably see a Fright Sprint again sometime before we're done making film sprints, but
Before the 2090s.
yeah, before the 2090s. We have 100 years to get there. Not worried about it. Well, I guess we have 69 years from now. Nice. All right, let's move on to our next category. Our next film is eFilms Pro's Coffee and Conspiracies. This was a
I
fun
love
one.
this one. Look,
Yeah.
it's Cloverfield Lane by way of Alex Jones, by way of a good movie.
You just listed a controversial thing, a generally disliked thing, and then we're like, and it comes out great.
Yeah,
And I love Cloverfield.
I
So.
bet you are curious.
Their genres that they drew on this were action and disaster. They decided to go basically with the action as the focus. And this is another one that sort of starts to build out maybe a broader universe as we may get to explore in future rounds. But we'll deal with that.
That's crazy.
No, it's
Like a multiverse?
Yeah, like a multiverse, like a manifold of universes. All right. Anyway, here we go. It's eFilms Pro with Coffee and Conspiracy.
Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Conspiracies with Courtney. A cell phone company is setting forest fires to clear land to build new cell phone towers. I bet you're wondering how I got here. A couple of months ago in Northern California, there was a forest fire. Not really special news, but locals are now reporting that they have put up a perimeter fence around that area. Now they're saying that after dark, there are military vehicles bringing in like huge pieces of like metal scaffolding and rigging like you'd use for a cell phone tower. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Conspiracies with Courtney. Australia does not exist. I bet you're wondering how I got here. So let's dive in. Mattress firm stores are actually a network of money laundering locations. Now, I know that there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there surrounding the death of JFK, but I think he's not even dead at all. I bet you're wondering how I got here. You guys, this one is gonna blow your mind. Company Wife Express has been sending KGB agents over to America disguised as mail order brides. Mail order brides. Ugh. Time-traveling saboteurs are saving us from a black hole. Yes, they are. And I bet you're wondering how I got here. A government-funded mind control lab in Alaska. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Conspiracies with Courtney. A while back, I did a video about a California wildfire that took out a small community. Locals started reporting that it seemed like they were building some sort of like cell phone tower out there. I think I came across something that's eerily similar. In North Dakota, there was this small Native American village. The surrounding town realized that they hadn't seen anybody come into town from the village for a couple of weeks. They decided to send somebody out there and see what's going on. That person found every single person dead. And it looked like they died from some sort of virus. The government swoops in. Now, a lot of you guys know that I do live adjacent to a train station. Friends, we got switched back to the night shift, so you guys are going to hear the train sometimes. Back to this town. So the government comes in and they do their investigation. Then the locals say that the place is demolished and they put up a perimeter fence. The only thing that is there is a tower that's been erected. So I want to thank you guys for sending all your emails, your messages, your comments. I think we have enough to start a series. About 10 years ago, a small mountainside rural West Virginia village that was completely destroyed by a landslide. That morning, people as far as 20 miles away reported hearing 3 loud booms. Later, they discovered that the area was fenced off by a perimeter fence. Of course, could be dangerous. But then, a tower was erected. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, I'm going live because I have tried to upload this video 4 times now, and it keeps getting taken down. If you guys are reporting my video, please don't do that. But thank you for those who are sticking around for this live. I know it's kind of late. Thank you so much to longtime viewer Illuminatme37. He got me something off my wish list, and it is this very cool live button. All I have to do is tap the button, and I go live, which is wonderful, so you don't get a weird close-up of me right before my live video starts. It's awkward for everybody. Anyway, again, let's dive into this one. This right here is a photo of a community called Bill, Wyoming. A lady that lived there said there were too many people named Bill living there, and the name just stuck when they actually became a town. So this town is no more. It was completely wiped out by an F5 tornado. You guys have been flooding me with stories, evidence about similar finding. I lost my notebook, but like Charter, Illinois, 1953, destroyed by flooding. Peabody, Nebraska, 1967, sandstorm. Butler, Tennessee, 1981, tornado. Fence, tower structure, vehicle sightings. More than I could ever research. Places you remember visiting as a kid and now they're not there anymore. I've been databasing these. I'm feeling like patterns are emerging. This is something. This is something. Okay guys, this is the last video I'm gonna make. We were right. We were right about everything, okay? We missed something and I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. It's like the ones before it, the ones before can predict the ones that are happening next. One of our users, I'm not going to give his name out, he told me I should map the coordinates. I've been mapping the coordinates and patterns were emerging. I live right outside of Knowlesville, just about a couple miles away, and I have reason to believe that the next tragedy is going to happen right here. The next disaster is going to hit right here. Please, please keep doing the research. You're going to find things. You're going to find things. Just keep on hunting, okay? Archive this video, please. It's not going to stay up much longer. No, please. I don't know anything. Please, I don't know anything. Please, please, please.
What's up? It's your boy Dave here with Unnatural Disasters. Today, we're talking about the Knowlesville train derailment. That's right, that's where a train leapt the tracks, smashing into an apartment building, collapsing it, and killing everyone inside, including a known conspiracy vlogger, who some people say predicted the crash. I think she was in on it. Let me tell you how I got there.
And this is a compliment because I like a film that gives me ideas of how to like that bursts other ideas. But I was thinking a way that I would have made that last little tie-in of like the next conspiracy guy hopping on it might have been like a little more engaging, would be to obviously date the original footage, like either from like this is someone's VHS tape recording or like a little bit.
You're so hot.
Right. Or like this is from back when people used YouTube to talk about these things.
Like, I mean, even
like
just a
early
graphic on screen
2000s.
that showed the passage of time would probably help a lot, you know?
And
you could sort of like
new guys like contemporary, obviously he's like this weirdo back in the early 2000s, whatever, or like that would have made it like, oh, it's happening again.
You could show like her dates perverting in a strange way as the trains in the air.
Hey, there it was. That happened. New Films Pro.
Coming at you live from the Lars von Trier Beach House.
The Hudsons. They nailed it on that one. That was fun. Always an interesting choice when a couple is like, oh, one of us murder the other one on camera. That'll be fun.
Sorry, I just got lost in my own eyes. But yes.
You're a real doll. Let's see what other films we could deal with for this. We only have 2 left. We got 2 left. But honestly, let's talk for one more second.
Can I talk about this movie?
Yeah, let's talk a little more about it. Because some of our judges review footage was lost. This was very fun and interesting. Love the use.
Okay, sorry, Jeremy.
Yes.
Can I put you on the spot to tell the tale of the lost judging footage?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. The lost judging footage. We have audio of all of our judges' comments, but the video of it. Let me see if I can actually set up here and show everybody what it looked like. The 90% of the video of it just looked like this. I'm gonna transfer to it. it just looked like that. The video was just the last frames of the eFilms Pro logo, because that's when I paused it. But I didn't turn off screen share, so we didn't have any video of us talking about it. But one thing that we definitely did bring up was like the way that this team sort of used the space creatively. I thought was really clever that they just, to get it done quickly, they just set it on one static camera, and to achieve that like as a conceit, it was her YouTube show or like her conspiracy video stream or whatever, the use of incorporating like, oh, this is my turn on the stream button for the sort of CIA robber infiltrator person to randomly push it on.
Right.
Just so much fun additions to this story.
I think like thematically, like this in the exact same sort of intention was the way to leverage the prescribed line of like, I bet you're wondering how I got here, as sort of like her sign-on line. I thought that was like very clever and appropriate and like fit the whole thing. I thought that was really powerful. I really liked that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I like good things, and this was a good thing.
Internal references to their own film and other Film Sprint films, which we always love, and because we love our little community.
Yes.
And there was another note I had on it, but it's escaping me at the moment, unfortunately. I'll just say this was a super interesting one. Oh, I remember what it was. We had all agreed in the conversation that this was one of our favorite uses of an element in this round. The use of the line of dialogue, I bet you're wondering how I got here, as her like, I'm gonna catch up on the facts kind of catchphrase, we thought really translated well to the way that they chose to approach this story.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Film stuff. We're moving on to another person who I think maybe in some ways turned in their most nuanced submission yet, and that's Jason Vickovich with Fueled by Wine. Of course, Chelsea Smith and Connor Edmonds joined him for this team. This was a fun submission. They got thriller and fantasy, as we
thriller fantasy.
Yes, a thriller fantasy.
It's a real spook 'em up.
Yeah, it's a spook 'em up. So
Please enjoy.
Yep, that speaks for itself. Here you go.
I bet you're wondering how I got here. Well, hey everybody, I'm Billy. It's my 18th birthday, and I wanted to do my ritual for my Black Harvest, and well, things didn't go quite as planned.
Hey, Dad. Yeah, I got your card. I just want to say thank you so much. It means a lot on my birthday. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the shadow ritual, but I feel like I can conquer it. I don't want to be a disappointment for the Black Harvest. Yeah, I'll give you a call after I'm all done. Don't you worry. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I should probably be getting ready for the summoning ritual. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Alright, bye. When we come to celebrate, it is time to separate. A time in our life when one must be two and be sent out for a clue. When once there was someone to follow you, let them become whole and fully true. Have no fear and make them appear. 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 I don't feel anything different. I don't see anything. Is that... Wait, shadow! Help me. Oh. I'm sorry. You're expecting Billy to come back? Well, what you don't know is you're a shadow and you eat your former self's heart, you become reality. So, I'm the new Billy. I'm on my way to go and meet my dad.
Burning foot, also acquired.
Oh, baby, my toes on fire. Bum 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 bum. Ooh, baby, my toes on fire. Bum 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 bum. My toes on fire. Bum 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 bum.
Who needs toes anymore?
It was almost exactly 4 minutes, which was the minimum length, and it told a story.
It did tell a story.
Developed a character. I really like the little bit that's like, because you know this like in every like family where it's like you have to complete the ritual, that there has to be like an awkward conversation being like, he did.
He did. Yeah, don't worry about it.
This was not the easiest one for me to follow. Of
No.
Jason's, like narratively, it was a little tough for me to clock why everything was happening and what it all meant and how it's connected. I really liked shot placement and shot choices, like composition. That's a lot of Chelsea too, them making those decisions together, but like the use of a fire and using the fireplace and having different lighting sources. I loved the score. I thought Connor did a great job with the score.
It's really good. I'm like,
it is.
Just elevates it a lot.
I felt like some of the shots could have benefited from being closer, even if there was a different shot during the phone call at the beginning, just to sort of like, same phone call, same conversation, an angle that's closer into his face to sort of make you feel like the emotion and the, yeah, sure, Dad.
There was Black Harvest, fueled by wine. It was a fun one. I feel like, we've talked about it a little. Jason is a person who came on at the start of our run of these homebound rounds. He hadn't had any filmmaking experience before, and he just kind of keeps progressing. Really, really impressive to just watch somebody grow like that, honestly. Like,
one take Vickovich.
One take Vickovich. Rat Tail Randy himself. Pretty spectacular.
He's a double threat. Can I tell you that one time? No, but I will say that one time I was explaining. So So my very handsome boyfriend did participate in the scoring of this film.
Full disclosure.
And full disclosure. And he's never met Jason, but they have collaborated on a couple films now. And that warms my whole heart void, I will say. But one night I was like, oh yeah, Jason's really cool. He has all these other things going on. Like he and I was explaining his role as sort of like, in these wine tasting perspectives. And he was like, wow, he just gets paid to help people get drunk. I wish that were my job. And I will tell you that Connor is literally a bartender, and he just did not make the connection. And that was just like a nice exchange.
That's fun.
We all want to be Jason.
We
all want to be Jason.
Who doesn't, honestly?
I do.
That's what I'm saying. I do too. We got one film left here, and it's our final one. That means it's last. So Wolfmen Entertainment, who have been around with us since 2019, they turned in this one. It's called A Guide to Heisting. Heisting was their heist film was their final genre that they settled on. I don't even remember the other one they drew, but they decided to settle on this.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Can I just say for the crowd that the one genre they didn't get was I added a bonus genre.
That's true. We should talk about
that. So whenever at the filmmakers kickoff, we go over the rules about not killing each other and whatnot, and not having to make me write new rules. That's the number one rule. But then we tell them the elements, and then they are randomly assigned. There's a wheel of genres, and they get 2 genres, and they get to either combine them or just pick one. And then I decided that it would be fun if we weighted them, and then there was a half-weighted genre that was paranormal romance. They didn't get it.
Nobody
but then to the point, sadly. I will say though that Ryan, the patriarch of Wolfmen, did explain to everybody that his Fright Sprint entry was technically a paranormal romance, although we are still fighting about that.
Well,
so
that's its own
Enter
story.
Film Sprint. You could make a paranormal romance.
Yeah, if you wanna.
It would be nice.
It'd be great. You don't get to pick one, Jason. I see that you want to do a paranormal romance, but you don't get to just pick. That's a whole other thing. Well, we'll talk about that another time. But let's get into our final.
What if
back to basics?
What if they could? Paranormal romance round coming up soon.
Ghost Sprint. Without any further ado, Wolfmen Entertainment's A Guide to Heisting.
So, you're probably wondering how I got here. Pretty nice place, I know. Whether it's the lack of loot in your pocket or the thrill of the chase, I'm going to teach you how to be the best heister on this side of the county line. Some people say heisting is just glorified stealing, but they're wrong. They are wrong! They are wrong! They're wrong. It's an art form. Everything that I own has been heisted. This outfit? Heisted. This car? Heisted. Even my used dental floss has been repossessed. Now, the very first step in performing a heist is trying to figure out what you're going to steal. In this case, I'm going to call my lovely intelligenista, Cade.
It's a mom and pop operation, Jer Bear. Russians, but not the scary kind. Nothing for you to worry about.
Okay. Thanks, Cade. Keep me updated on any additional movement. Excuse me, can you pull over? very second step in creating a heist is to cut all loose ends early and quickly. Keep your inner circle to one person or less. Now, the next step is the most crucial step. Step 3, making sure you have all the right equipment. Okay, let's see here. Duffel bag, zip ties, wigs, extra costuming, a watch, explosives, a handgun. Now, I really want you to sweat the details on what you think you'll need. One less end. Phase 2.
I think we're good to go, Macho Man. Time to smack some ass and take some names.
Now, step 4 is the tricky part. Deciding where you want to start and how you want to start. Now I'm going to grab my duffel and my rope and head to the garage. Now, if you've done your homework, this part should be easy. Nothing should really go wrong. Oh. If you have trouble getting inside, get yourself caught. 9 times out of 10, the goons will bring you in before disposing of you. And then, you have to wait for the perfect moment to strike.
No, it only takes 15 pounds of pressure.
It only takes 15 pounds of pressure to break a human neck.
Step 5. Clear the house. What's step 6?
Grab the loot. Get ready to make some bank. Step 7, enjoy the win. Now, it's time to make the escape. And that, my friends, is how you pull off a successful heist. Now, I hope you learned something here today, that with the right equipment and the right friends, anything is possible. Take care.
Okay, entertaining across several genres.
It was so good.
They have fluency in all of the genres they were drawing upon, and they showed that. Okay, cute boy who likes his car hot with the hazards on.
Yeah. I am horny for a third party, and that third party is cinematography. There was this shot sequence that I was particularly in love with, of when he got out of the car and you see the door, like he opens the door to get out of the car, and then he opens the trunk, and then rather than showing him like close the trunk again, you see the shot of him like it's not closing on the camera, but it like made the action flow so much better.
The knife shot. Okay, Jeremy.
Oh, the knife shot.
The behind the scenes.
The knife shot was so good.
The knife shot was good. It was done with green screen. They actually put the knife on a little rig where they attached it to a PVC pipe they had painted green, and then they spun it. And just to pull that off in the time, really impressive.
Well, and I've like taken some like stage combat stuff.
Same. That's how I know
the combat and the stunt work was phenomenal, especially in the time period. Like it had no business being that good in
None
a day.
of this had any business being this good. This was amazing.
So good. I love the parallel shots at the beginning and the end.
There you have it. Guide to heisting. Wolfman Entertainment.
Can I be honest and say
Please.
I forgot how eloquent I was in that judging?
You can be honest about anything you want to be honest about it at this point.
The nuance that I was able to underscore about the fact that this was
nailed it.
Real good.
It's like
They nailed it with a knife.
They knifed it right to the side of the wall. Nailed it. Okay. Yeah, pretty much that was our I mean, I'd say some of our best work this round, and everybody took a step up, and that was true for Wolfman as well. I mean, they're known for epic cinematography. They're known for that symmetry in their production design, you know, opening and closing stuff.
Well, production design as well as like narrative. I will
Yes.
say, like, I definitely want to not discount the fact that, like, I think in past rounds as well as this round, we definitely put a lot of emphasis on like the really interesting like production choices that they were able to pull off, which were incredible. But also like the narrative structure of it was I don't know, it was inventive in a throwback way that you're like, I'm not even quite sure what this is referencing, and yet at the same time, like it feels like a twist on the familiar. It was good.
Pretty much so.
I thought it was good.
I thought this was a spectacular entry. Really, really great. Of course, so proud to be able to show this and all the films from Back to Basics. We're going to get into the awards here in just a moment. But before we do, we got a little shout out to some Film Sprint filmmakers who are working on another project of their own. I'm talking... Oh, yeah. You better get giddy. I'm, of course, talking about...
so excited!
Our own David Menard, Dougie Subro, Jared Newman, and Buddy Matthews. We actually have a little clip from, I guess this is their Indiegogo intro. I'll post the link in the chat for everybody so you can see what they're up to, but let's take a look.
We're making a movie! I'm David, the writer and cinematographer.
I'm Madison, the director.
And I'm Buddy, the producer.
We're making a short horror film called Danny.
On a night out, a self-proclaimed ladies' man gets more than he bargained for when a vibrant vixen invites him to come home with her, but not for the activities that he expects.
We have dreams for this production, and we need your donations to help make it come true. Though we are all paid in glorious exposure bucks, we would like to pay our cast and crew in American dollary dues.
So what do you get for your donations? We have several rewards available, including...
A commissioned Crayola portrait from yours truly.
A portrait session with me.
And a music session with me.
And much more, including seeing the movie before anyone else.
We've poured months of effort into this film, and we can't wait to show you the gore, guts, and glitz we've created.
Thanks so much for checking this out, and we look forward to
haunting your nightmares.
Here it is. It's happening. Check out, we posted the link there for Danny Horror Film in the chat.
As a horror-minded gal who dated so many Daniels that literally my mom still asks, how's Daniel 3?
Mm-hmm.
And then also just being like a genuine fan of old Menard over there.
Menard.
I'm gunning for several of these Indiegogo. I honestly don't know what to choose because well, I live somewhere very different. But I'm willing to fly out for like a portrait session. I see that 2 out of the 3 portrait sessions are claimed, so I'm thinking I might claim that third one.
Okay.
How about all y'all?
I'm into it. We got one more little piece of business I want to get into before we get into these awards, and that is upcoming events. Speaking of times when you might be in this neck of the woods, Deming, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But let's talk about the upcoming events. I'll pop this up here and see if we can see it. Hey, there it is. So as you can see, March 19th to the 28th, that's our next event. It's Student Showcase. We're doing a ton of outreach to colleges and high schools. And we're going to, of course, also have a standard Student of Life division, but we will be doing separate divisions for this round. We got $1,000 guaranteed for this one, thanks to our anonymous benefactor. And it's going to be pretty much a spectacular 9-day round. We're getting back into the lengthier rounds. And then to kind of taper it off, come back a little, we're going to do a 3-day round.
Go back to some girthier rounds.
That's right.
Yeah.
April 22nd to 25th is Homebound Anniversary. We're going to be celebrating 1 year of shelter-in-place friendly filmmaking. Deming, do you know what's going to be our 11th round in a year?
Did you know that that's legitimately insane?
Isn't that ridiculous? I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. It's either going to be our 11th or 10th. I'll have to double check the math on that, but it's going to be a big one. And the big announced prize for Homebound Anniversary, I'm saying it again and recommitting us to this concept, is that the team that wins that round, they get to pick the required elements for a special film sprint that Jeremy and Deming will be creating. We're going to do our own round and get a taste of our own medicine. And the team that wins this round, they get to decide what the required elements for that round will be. Stakes have never been higher.
I don't want to take up too much time because I know everybody wants to vote in audience choice. However, I will say, have you ever watched the Saw movies and been like, I wish I could create a trap for that guy? That's what the prize is. You get to create our Saw trap.
Something like that. Yeah, you get to create our movie trap. And I'm really excited. We've been talking about this one for a while now, almost as long as we've been talking about Fright Sprint before we got there. It's Cinematic Universe in the middle end of June. Pretty excited about that one. We're going to try our best.
Oh, side note. Yes. Shout out in the chat what your favorite Saw movie is.
Yeah, sure.
Just kidding. It's unrelated.
But no, for real. Cinematic Universe. It's going to be incredible. We're going to create and craft some sort of a timeline, contiguous universe elements that y'all are free to include. But the idea, the fun, the conceit of this round will be that essentially y'all get to, make films that all take place in the same universe as one another. It's gonna be
Cloverfield it up.
Yeah, we're gonna Cloverfield / MCU this bad boy. It's gonna be pretty spectacular. These are the upcoming events. So that's what's coming up. Student Showcase, the signups are currently open. If you want to go to FilmSprint, you can register right now and get in on it. It's going to be sweet. Audience choice voting is still about to open up here shortly. Subscriber votes will count twice. If you're a subscriber, now's the time. If you want to show some love for all this content that we put together for you for this evening and all that, subscribe. You can also tip us at by Venmoing at FilmSprint. We always appreciate your little tipskis and all that. So there's that.
I want to call out something that's come up in the chat because I brought it up.
Yeah, okay.
So first of all, with regards to the Mothman, I think that it was irresponsible of you specifically, Jeremy, to talk about crossing a bridge after the Mothman had been brought up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's ignorant of you. Second of all, I think that it's irresponsible of people to, I get Saw 1 is fine, but Saw 6 is the one where we're murdering insurance agents. And it's great. And somebody gets melted to death with acid. And that's a sideshow. So yes, obviously, I think that it's very understandable if Saw 3 and 4 bled together for you because they happened across the same sort of timeline. But for Saws 2 through 6 to bleed together to you?
Yep. Okay, that's been Saw Talk. Thank you, Deming.
This has been Saw Talk. Back to you, Jeremy.
Well, let's get into the awards. We got some awards to go through here. I'll let you know what I'll tee them up one at a time, and then we'll talk about them, and then we'll go through them here. But actually, before we get too deep into that, I want to talk about one other thing. Let me call up this graphic for everybody so they can see what I'm talking about. It's going to be one moment because I'm a little behind on it. We're going to talk about the Points Cup. This is like the coolest, to me, thing that
we didn't announce or explain the Points
No,
Cup.
we're about to explain and announce the Points Cup.
Saw talk went over.
Yeah, Saw talk went long, but let's talk about the Points Cup. The Points Cup is essentially, and I'll show y'all here. Oh boy, I did it wrong. Here you go. Now we can all hear me. Sorry, guys. Got to get one mute in per show, or you know that it's, not a me show. All right, guys. Points Cup. Here it is. Individual award, year-long performance. We might do different points for each cup, but for each round. But basically, this round, 10 points for submitting your film, 25 if you want a technical award, 50 for the judges or audience or filmmaker's choice for your film, and plus your film's average score.
That's right.
We may change it up
in
future rounds, but this is what
we 100% will change it up.
Yes.
That's a guarantee. But overall, I think we noticed that there were some amazing filmmakers doing amazing things over the course of last year. And I think we tried to recognize them in sort of end of summer recognition, end of the year recognition. But the point is that we wanted to add points to that recognition. And as a result, there's going to be a Stanley Cup style piece of nonsense
a real
that results
trophy
in this.
will go to this person and will be inherited to the next winner of the Points Cup in the year following. That's the tradition we're aiming for. We'll see if it goes that way. They may be new trophies every year, but there will be a real Points Cup trophy. It will be shipped to the individual with the single most outstanding performance. At this point, we're basically splitting it up among the filmmakers entirely, because with a round this close, this short, the thought was essentially that there might be too much overlap between the specific assignments to say like, oh, you won cinematography, so you, the cinematographer, get extra points, because so much of it had overlap in these smaller rounds. We decided to just collapse the scoring, but that's the Points Cup. By the end of tonight, we'll have a nice update for everybody on the Points Cup totals through this first
standings.
round. We're going to have our first Points Cup standings. I'm very excited about. It'll consist of a lot of many-way ties from the crews of each respective film. But hopefully by the end of our next round of Student Showcase, we'll have an individual single leaderboard that'll have individual peoples on it. It's going to be great. Okay, enough about the Points Cup. Enough about the other stuff. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into some awards. Our first award,
just elbow deep.
Oh boy, our first award for the evening was for outstanding cast, outstanding ensemble cast, and the film that took home this award had not just great chemistry between the two main actors in it, but also some incredible stunt performances, because our winner for outstanding cast was A Guide to Heisting by Wolfman Entertainment. Congratulations. Congrats on your first award of the evening to A Guide to Heisting. Just the
first award of the evening.
The chemistry
for
was strong.
cast.
The fight scenes were wonderful, and just everything flowed together so well. Very impressive, good stuff. Congrats to Wolfman.
It was good.
We liked it.
Great.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
Likable.
That's true.
The whole thing. The whole package.
Our next award was for Best Genre Interpretation. We decided to create an award specifically for honoring the genre. And the award for Best Genre Interpretation went to Black Harvest for their most direct fantasy thriller interpretation. We felt like a lot of people use their genres as jumping off points, and as such, they didn't necessarily keep to the tropes of their genre. So for the one that kind of most genuinely recreated the intended genre, we had to give it up to Black Harvest.
Well, genres.
Well, yeah, that's right. They combined them, and they get extra
plural.
points for that. We appreciate that. Our next award here, this was for best use of the technical elements. This was
okay. Let's take a break and take a breath and be like, man, that was hard.
You know what? These were some tough technical elements. They really were. You had to include a bill
because they were so basic.
They were.
Right? It was like it'd be like It'd be like me pulling off Uggs, which I do, but it's not easy.
Yep.
Let's
If you'd like to know more about that, just find our OnlyFans. All right. Use of elements. We really I don't either. Basically, the use of elements award. We this was our first tie of the evening, but spoiler alert, it will not be our last. Use of elements. We had to give it to 2 films, and that was The Wonder Child, Almost Swayze, and Coffee and Cigarettes, eFilms Pro. For The Wonder Child, it was the use of the bill as a specific, as an actual plot device rather than sort of being a throwaway or a first or a proper name. Right. And then for Coffee and Cigarettes, it was the use of "I bet you're wondering how I got here" as the actual catchphrase for the conspiracy lady. We appreciated that. We appreciated this whole thing. It was a dang delight. Catchphrase verse. We got another tie coming up here. It was for Outstanding Narrative.
Patrick Stewart money.
Yep. These films were
Outstanding Narrative.
both Patrick Stewart money. Outstanding Narrative.
No, I will say
contentious.
Well, so for Outstanding Narrative, so we got in a lot of fights, and I had to stay up past my bedtime to talk about this with the other judges, and it was something that we discussed even after the day. And this was something where I think in previous films for iterations, it used to be best screenwriting or whatever, but now we're really thinking about the best story that was told. And unfortunately, there were a bunch. All of these were really good stories. So we chose 2 that best represented, like, how much story were you able to tell very cohesively in a very limited time, both from a production standpoint as well as from the standpoint of, like, what resulted.
All right, so our dual winners for Outstanding Narrative were Black Harvest by Fueled by Wine and Marlboro Witch Trials by Old Soul. Dina got a writing award. We decided to award her eligibility because her film was written well before she had any technical issues. So she got grandfathered in there. And
is this Dina's first award?
It was Dina's first award. She was a co-winner for Best Teamwork.
Actress.
Outstanding Collaboration. Oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. She also won, of course. She also won Best. She was a co-winner of Best Actress for Sprint, actually. So it's her second co-award.
But this is a behind-the-camera kind of win for Dina that I think was very deserved. I love this fable.
Not a pity award. I see you. No. This was a legit award. We appreciated it. All right. We're moving on. We got another one here. This next award was for Outstanding Technical Achievement, and I will not keep you in suspense. It went to A Guide to Heisting. This was not a huge surprise. Wolfman absolutely crushed it on the technical achievement front. The shot choices, the green screen knife shot, the editing, the technical precision in so many of these elements. Not of course a perfect submission, as no film sprint submission is perfect, but as close as we've seen in terms of execution on a technical side of things. This was pretty spectacular.
And I think, as we've talked about in the chat, no film in and of itself, no matter how much time or resources you've been given, is perfect, except for Saw 6.
As we've discussed, yes, of course. So that's the award for technical achievement. Congrats, of course, to those fine filmsters. And
congrats, and also scared admiration.
Oh yeah, and also please
scared admiration.
Don't try to please don't apply for any job I want. Our next.
Oh yeah, don't apply for a job I want, and also if you ever get mad at me, just let me know. I'll make it right. I can. Don't doctor footage that. Because I feel like you could.
Yeah, it seems like.
I'm worried.
Maybe I'll deepfake.
I've seen Unfriended 2.
Okay.
Unfriended 2, the dark web.
All right, we're getting a little punchy here. We got to get it through the home stretch here. We got our Best Actor award. This was another tie. And this was, I feel like, this was a hotly debated award as well. But for real. And
what is the award? What's the category?
Best Actor. Did you not hear me say that? Best Actor.
No, I didn't. That's
what we're talking
about.
I
apologize.
Sheesh. Okay.
My bad. So this is different though than best
cast. Best
ensemble.
cast was about the cast energy, the kind of group energy of the cast. But for best actress for individual performances, we had to highlight a couple, and that was Courtney Hudson from Coffee and Conspiracies for so believably being murdered, and also for all of the wonderful hosting. And Anna McCarter, the titular Wonder Child, for crushing it. Absolutely. There was a lot of love for being that good as a child actor and not doing like classic child actory bits. Loved it. Those are our best actors for this round. Big shout outs, very near honorable mentions, of course, to Karina and Chris from Wolfmen. Two great performances and standouts. And this actually is a good time for me to mention one other thing about that, which is that we have given this award out officially before, being that we didn't have the merch to go with it. It didn't seem appropriate, but our most merchable line of this competition is gonna have to be smack some ass and take some names. So we're gonna be making some smack some ass and take some names merch that you can buy. Get excited about it. And that's the hot new development in the world of Film Sprint. Congrats again to Courtney and Anna on spectacular performances, and all the films that we've seen thus far. It's time to open up the poll for our Audience Choice Award, so I'm going to do that now. Hopefully I'll see this and it works properly. Yeah, there it is. So as you can see there in the chat, the poll is now open. So you can go ahead and vote in the poll. I'll put up our results here so we can see them. Okay.
Is there any difference in weighting?
Yes, as of our
current
setup, I believe subscribers get double weight on their votes. So as you can see the numbers there on the screen, if you want to vote Marlboro Witch Trials, you only get one vote. Not two votes, it's that your vote counts twice.
There it is.
Yep. So if you want to vote for Marlboro Witch Trials, you push 1 enter. For Wonder Child 2, Coffee and Conspiracies 3, Black Harvest 4, and A Guide to Heisting 5. If you are a subscriber, you vote once. It counts twice. Pretty sure I'm right about that. So that's how we have that set up. Get your votes in. Get them tabulated. I might be wrong. Try voting twice. See what happens. Sheesh. I don't know. IDK. This is coming in.
My BFF Jill.
You know what I love to see? Every film got at least one vote. That's what we like to see. That's nice. Already, that's confirmed. We like that. Seems like our leadings are eFilms Pro's Coffee and Conspiracies and Wolfman's A Guide to Heisting, which is pretty much in line with our projections here in Election Desk HQ.
I think, unfortunately, they were all really good. And again, I want to underscore how much we fought. But I like all of these. There is our Simon Cowell of the judging bunch, Jim. He's somebody I spoke with. He was unavailable. He's actually working on the set of a feature horror film right now, exciting. So that's why he was unavailable. He told me things he's not allowed to tell me technically. Cool. I'm so excited for this movie.
Let's not talk about it here.
Obvious. But I was kind of chatting with him about these movies and just bragging about how phenomenal they all are, despite the fact that we said this is a back to basics round. This is a quickie. This is an easy one. But they weren't basic at all. They were all basic. Fantastic.
Yes,
they were. You're not basic.
You're not basic. It's undevastating. You're undevastated right now.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, I believe that our votes have been tabulated. We can finish this poll, and A Guide to Heisting has won the Audience Choice Award. I can tell you that it also won our award for Filmmaker's Choice during our filmmaker screening vote, where the filmmakers get to vote. And not only that, but it also won the Judge's Choice. Best Film, A Guide to Heisting. Wolfman Entertainment took it home. The second straight time that we've offered Filmmaker's Choice that the awards have been swept by Audience Choice, Filmmaker's Choice, and Judge's Choice have all been the same. So I think that says something about us all being on the same page here about what's good, which is nice. And that also means that at this point we can take a look. Oh, I'm so excited about this. at the Points Cup standings through one event.
The
It's a
Points
6-way tie
Cup.
for the filmmakers of Wolfmen, as credited on their film. They're followed in second place by tie between, in seventh place they're tied with Anna and Lacey McCarter from Almost Swayze. Chad and Courtney from eFilms Pro are the 9th and 10th spots. The three filmmakers of Fueled by Wine, that's Jason, Chelsea, and Connor, are tied for 11th. They took up the 11th through 13th spots in our rankings. And then Old Soul is currently sitting pretty in the 14th position with 55.25 points. As you can see there, those point totals are based on, you get 50 points for having won any of the choice awards, which is to say filmmakers, judges, or audience. Since Wolfmen swept, they get that extra 150. Otherwise, it was a very close discrepancy between Wolfmen and Almost Swayze, because they both took home the same number of technical awards, and their judges' scores were actually pretty close. But in the end, the Wolfmen gang take an early lead, but there's a whole lot of year left. So who's to say how we end up here, Deming?
I would say that, like, so just as a clarification, because I know you said that, like, the team Old Soul is sitting pretty in 14th place, but I would clarify and say that the team is sitting, like, in this very elegant, like, stunning way that's rarely seen in the modern era, with, like, a symmetry that's unrivaled.
Okay.
So that's how I see Old Soul sitting.
That makes
personally
sense.
But I'm so happy that we're doing the Points Cup, because I've seen I think, like, part of the thing that inspired us beyond what we talked about earlier was just the fact that, like, people were trying to, like, work with other folks. Like, we saw, like, mix-ups of different teams and whatnot. Like, we saw people collaborating in different ways. Even, like I mentioned earlier, people that have never even met, like, still have not met. And so we want to encourage that. That's why it's an individual award ultimately, even though it's all a team sport. And also, like, trophies are cool. And so are all of you.
Trophies are cool, and so are all of you. That's exactly right. Well, you know, that's pretty much gonna do it, I think, for this. Take a quick moment to just say I appreciate all of you so much, as I also vamp and send Deming the information on our next Zoom call, because we're about to transition to the filmmaker call here for a little while. This probably won't be a super long one, but all the filmmakers got an email that I sent around midnight. I was kind of wired with information about this other Zoom call, so I'm going to send this link to you, Deming, and then I'm going to transition to just being me, and I'm going to say goodnight to you for now, so goodbye to that call. Bye. And now
bye.
Bye, Deming. Bye. She did the thing. So we'll end that call if you would, and then I'll go ahead and start this other one, and then the filmmakers can come join, and then we'll be there. So that does it again for the Back to Basics screening. If you are getting off here, thanks for joining us for this part of the ride. If you want to stick around and hear from the filmmakers as to their experience, please stick around. We'll be referring all the chat comments to the filmmakers here. I'm just going to open up this call, and we'll get everybody involved. So that's the plan. The call's open. We got some folks jumping in the call already. See if I can turn off the old waiting room on this bad boy.
All right, I joined.
Hey, Ryan, we're seeing you. Hold on, let me get this all together here. Go ahead and turn your camera on when you get a second as well. Timing's here. That's good. That's nice. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Well, we're just getting this all set up, and thanks again to everybody for being a part of it. For whatever reason, my camera's not working on here, but y'all can still hear me, right?
You sound baritone, and
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, then I'll just call up the call here. So y'all can't hear me, but we can see everybody else, so that's good. Somebody's got their stream on. Go ahead and mute that. That's super irritating. All right, Jason, thanks. Hey everybody. We'll let folks still matriculate in here. But this was a really fun round, y'all. I mean, really, just so much happened, and you guys totally killed it. Congratulations on a really fun round. All right, everyone. Welcome into the filmmakers call. I'm Jeremy. I'm currently invisible, but I am here. So just take my word for it. This was a really fun round, y'all. Really excellent stuff, top to bottom. Congrats, I think, are in order to Wolfman on a spectacular submission. Good work, y'all. Well
Do you have original sound on?
Oh,
By
God,
any
do
chance?
I? No.
I had to hear myself earlier.
Oh, sorry about that. You should just be hearing.
Can you click start video like at the bottom?
Yeah,
like,
it's
right
just
next
the
to your
camera's
thing?
not because I'm running it through OBS. It's only for some reason it's not picking up.
Got you.
Yeah,
I know that.
but it's all good. Let me. Yeah, the only other way I could do it would be to share video, like share screen of just my camera, and I'm not going to bother with that. But y'all can hear each other, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started and run through this lovely bunch of shenanigans, y'all. First off, let's talk to our winners, Wolfmen. Congrats on an excellent submission.
Thank you.
Well loved in our judges' call. I think in the filmmakers' call, it was a nearly unanimous choice for best film as well. Just an outstanding submission. Well done, top to bottom. Oh, Employee is
Thank
joining
you.
us. Hi, Employee. Not sure who that is, but I'm thrilled about it.
Employee.
Who's to say? Who that is?
We got some shout outs in the chat for Ryan's BTK classes.
That's fun.
I think I kind of have the what's his name, the Milwaukee Cannibal. Why am I blanking on that?
like
Jeffrey
Dahmer?
Dahmer. I've got the Jeffrey Dahmer look a little bit.
Well, just from a facial hair perspective.
Also,
Alright,
the glasses and everything else about you. It's fine.
You know what? You're the whole package.
No, hold on. I'll show you this hilarious photo that I have. It's a side by
I
side.
put my
It's
little video on the
frightening.
bottom now so everybody can see.
Yeah, look at this. Is this not?
Wow.
Exactly yourself. Yeah.
Oh, but
That's what I'm saying.
Goodness.
You know what? I will say, like, the reason that Jeffrey Dahmer was able to be so prolific was because he was handsome.
Thank you.
go.
Take that.
That's true.
He cleaned up.
The call is filling up. This is so exciting. I'm so happy to have y'all here. Let me
Joel!
oh wait, some folks are getting decapitated. That's terrible. I mean, not by
But stuff golden changes.
not by Ryan.
Not according to Ryan. That's not terrible.
There you go.
Oh wait.
I
gotta play.
Hi, Dina.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Everybody said enough, right? Everybody said what they wanted to say. No. Kidding. Hey, Dina, you want to turn your camera on? Everybody wants to turn their camera on. That'd
Well,
be
that's
welcome.
what I. There we go. Yeah.
I know that I
figured
sound
every time.
like a hypocrite because you guys can't see me, but everybody watching back in the day can.
Yeah.
Hi, Lacey.
See my bark Ruffalo bag back there?
Hey, Lacey. That's amazing. I wanna,
yes. How can I help you?
so we'll kind of roll through this just so everybody knows. Basically, we'll
I
all,
have props.
Hey, Dina. So we're just gonna I'll try to kind of tee folks up to talk one at a time to kind of regulate traffic here. And since Lacey's got kids yelling on her camera, that's great. Oh, I see this from Deming. She's exiting the call. She's not a filmmaker. Bye, Deming. You're wonderful. She's gonna go, be asleep now because that is her prerogative.
Work thing.
Lacey, can we get some insights here on Anna's reaction here to her epic Best Actor performance?
Okay, I did film it, but I had to film it on my phone, and I could probably screen share it, but it's so quick. I just let it play while she did that a lot.
That's cute.
So she was very excited to see that she made it because she wanted to play on her tablet, and I'm like, but we might have been nominated for stuff. So she sat behind me here on the chair, and I'll share that. And we spilled a bit.
Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks,
Yeah, I literally have a naked kid next to me.
Oh, that's cool.
She just took off her clothes.
Weird.
But
All right. Well, that's cool, Lacey. I'm glad that
she's trying to climb on the
she was
computer.
excited. Thanks for keeping her off camera. Appreciate you. Trying to stay on Twitch. I'll move on to another person. We'll come back. Jason Vickovich. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your film here. Just very like you opened your film with somebody just with their whole body ripped open. Just a bold start to a film that had no other visible violence in it. Was there any thought to that process?
I mean, the whole thing I tried to do was to do a whole like hiking trail, like ritual out in the nature. But when I got off work at 6:30, I lost all my daylight, and I was tired as hell. So basically, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this at my house. I'm going to do this at my condo complex, and I did it. So
awesome. Honestly, it was fun to see you try doing them split screen shots. That was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Dina, let's go around the horn to you real quick. Dina, let's talk about your experience to your comfort level with this round.
I'm an open book. Okay. Well, I do get a little better every time.
That's true.
Because I've got my iPhone with YouTube, telling me how to do things, and then a book. But anyway, I spent way too much time trying to pick out music because I just got stuck in it. I was listing them, and they were just. So I spent a lot of time on that stuff, and where you can download some of those video clips.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize you could download smaller ones. So I downloaded some great big ones, and then by that time I'm like, oh, it, and because I had like 3 things I was going to do live and be twirling around in the sea, but I did. After all that, I didn't have time, and I wasn't really sure how to put the audio on. I kept trying to match my little audio clips to each little my audio sound to each little clip, and then I'm like, this is crazy. And so I just started reading, and then I matched my clips to my reading, and that worked out a lot better.
I mean, you definitely win for most stock images used in a film sprint submission.
I know. I'm like, this
By
is
volume?
a freaking PowerPoint.
Top.
But I mean, it's
It worked out.
I was just trying to do a parody on
I mean, I think you started with the most
story.
important thing, which was a story that was entertaining. And I think everything kind of can flow from that as you develop technically and whatnot. But having like a completed like narrative that makes sense, I think you good place.
Yeah, my name's Marl.
Yeah. Well,
and my husband said, "What about Kent over in Europe?" I'm like, "Shut up! I can't think of any more cigarettes. I don't know."
I like this comment from Deming in the chat saying, "PowerPoint showing the ROI of my heart." Nice. Really, really fun stuff. eFilms Pro, what's up, eFilms Pro? How y'all doing?
Hi. We also have a pantsless baby listening to Blippy here.
Interesting. This is our new record for naked children off screen that we know of.
I don't
I don't know. We had Holden Ardcast on for a watch line once.
Hey, I can be pantless too. It's okay.
Okay, but you're
Neither of us are wearing pants either.
Oh, great, cool. Right. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I personally
he
am
jumped
currently
on
wearing
you
pants.
pretty
No
hard.
big deal. No big deal. Fun submission this time, you guys. You talked about it being not your favorite set of genres that you drew for this show. You guys got action and disaster, and 48 hours to do them in, and it was just the two of you. You didn't have your full complement of actors.
Do we look like action stars? Did we look like fast, like at all in a general
I mean,
sense?
I could answer that question by saying, did you hear that Bob Odenkirk is going to be an action star? So,
but he's amazing.
That's I don't not
Yeah.
that well. Y'all are amazing. I think.
Yeah, he's Bob Odenkirk.
Sure.
I love the bill. The bill was hilarious.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, I like one of my favorite. I love Armageddon, like stupid amounts more than filmmakers probably.
Deming,
And,
Deming told me to tell y'all that you have the faces of romance stars and the bodies of Greek gods. So there you go.
That's
take that for what it's worth.
That's accurate. They have, what, abs and small penises.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
No, Dina's got a big flopper.
Yeah.
For yourself, man.
Yeah.
Or I know where to get one.
There's Anna popping up behind Lacey's head. There's the best. There's
Don't
the
worry,
two
she
best
can't hear
actors.
anything. It's in my
Oh, that's
ear.
for the best.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, our child can hear everything.
Oh, that's for the best
so-
too. Everybody's raising their
I'll say
kids
it.
appropriately.
Yeah.
This was really great stuff from all y'all. But now that we got the Wolfmen here, I'm gonna ask y'all to unmute yourselves again. Wolfmen, you champs, you champions. Congratulations on winning the following package of prizes.
Oh, boy.
Y'all win free entry into any film sprint of your choosing. Pick one at any time this year. We got the $1,000 rounds coming up. Also, I want to let y'all know that we're gonna probably have an announcement coming up regarding an adjustment in the cost of individual filmmakers registering. We're figuring out something that's gonna let us make that cheaper. So that's good news. And also,
yeah.
Oh, hold on, I'm seeing a comment from
income
Deming
tax.
asking if the wealthy. Deming's coming back in here with with potentially a follow-up announcement. I had more to add to this package, but I think Deming's here and she may have a special surprise. Deming, Deming, unmute yourself, please. Oh, she just wanted to be.
Okay, I feel like the wealthy benefactor. I don't know who that person is.
I'm
but
sorry. Deming
whoever
has a
it
message
is.
from the wealthy benefactor, whoever that is.
I think that this person would like to contribute some dollars that Jeremy can choose to distribute because this
Yes.
wealthy benefactor is anonymous.
I'll take a look here at the messaging from
It's
our
the dog.
wealthy benefactor.
It's the dog.
And I can announce that in addition to winning a free entry in a future films program, you have been awarded from our wealthy benefactor the sum of $500. Congratulations.
Hey,
You may
that's awesome.
spend that on merchandise if you would like, and we can send it to you at our cause.
That's what we did
If you want
last
some
time,
smack
so-
some ass and take some names merch, we'll make sure you get some. But those funds will be matriculated through, of course, the many networks of sort of offshore accounts that the wealthy benefactor has to navigate, and we'll be following up with you on that shortly. But congratulations on your bonus prize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last minute
Thank you.
announcement. Very
Thank you.
exciting. We like to
That
spread
is
stuff on
exciting.
y'all because, quite frankly, like this is as much about the lovely community of filmmakers as anything else. You know, I really have especially appreciated, you know, Wolfman y'all's contributions and sign up for this round. And you know, the conversations that we had leading up to that really helped me feel like once again we're on the right track. Thanks to Deming for dropping in with that message from the wealthy benefactor as she retreats to the Twitch chat because she's not a filmmaker. That's what she said. Although she will be, if whoever wants to come in and win Homebound Anniversary, if they decide they want to chop it up a little and throw us some, you know. Oh, also, I don't want to spoil anything, but I have it on good authority that Deming and I might actually be in the same physical location at the same time when we film our film together. Even though she's currently in Atlanta and I'm currently here in beautiful Sonoma County,
Atlanta?
California.
Don't tease us now.
We may have to actually, we may meet up at Scandia and film our film. We're gonna we'll see what happens.
I miss Scandia.
You guys,
and
you got to
Runner
know
Park.
that the batting cages in mini golf are currently open.
They really.
Yeah, I've been hitting up the batting cages all the time. That's a separate conversation.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Dina has a bonus room.
We
Congrats on your bonus
appreciate
room, Dina.
Thank you.
So yeah, congrats to y'all, Wolfman. That's a wonderful surprise prize for y'all.
It is. We're excited. I think that we were all pretty I guess I'll speak for our team a little bit on our thoughts on this entry. I think coming off of Don't Wake Him, we all kind of collectively I guess it's hard coming off of one that we felt like was more polished. I get that the nature of a 48-hour festival is things come out a bit unpolished. But I actually, this is the first time I've watched our film since it was finished, because I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about it. I think that in part the pacing being what it is in the beginning, in the car shots specifically, and then
audio,
the brutal underutilization of Karina's character and lack of shots for her weigh it down.
You know what though? Every shot
I don't
Karina's
know.
in
I mean,
is a
I'm-
fucking winner though. Like you fucking kill it in
That
all
is
your
true.
stuff there. Karina. It's
Absolutely.
awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, as you said, it is a 48-hour thing, but it definitely is one of those things where it's like it's annoying because we came down to, I mean, Chris and Karina drove up from San Francisco for the day, and we had people that were, here just for this, so we kind of had to get done to get everyone on their way, and that was the last stuff we filmed, were those specific shots, except for a few. There's a couple shots that aren't actually Chris, like the car shots and some of the tunnel stuff that we filmed the day after as filler. Car shots being the close-ups of like the keys. Everything else is obviously Chris. But I don't know. I don't know. I think that if we had given it more time, which obviously is just always the nature of these things, it could have been a bit stronger. So still not, I mean, I'm happy obviously with how it turned out. Just definitely, like, I don't know. We're always critics of our own work, I guess, but
yeah. So we got Ethan and Joel in here as well. Can y'all speak to your roles here in the film specifically?
Should I go first?
Go in any order.
All right. I'm the composer for Wolfman. I stepped in. What was the one we did for Don't Wake Him? Yeah, I stepped in for that one, and I did the music on that. I was like, wow, I actually really enjoy this, and it's fun being, in a sense, graded for what you do. And I produced music for like a year before that, and I was like, well, this is kind of a good way to test like my limits. And especially like when it comes down to music production, like you can't do it when everybody's filming, you have to wait for everything to be edited. So when it comes to the time constraint, it's incredibly taxing. Like I stayed up until, oh man, I think like 7 a.m. for 2 different days, and it was crazy, but it was worth it. I had a lot of fun. I think everybody has a lot of fun, and yeah, it was a good sprint for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I want to play off this and just mention two quick before we get to Joel. I just want to mention two things that Ethan reminded me of that are related, which is that y'all, Wolfman and Fueled by Wine were our two submissions this round that had original music, all original music. So like, big up yourselves on that. That was spectacular stuff for both of y'all. And then the second thing that was related was that I just wanted to point out that somebody, just speaking of things I should have mentioned earlier, was that basically Anna McCarter was in her third film sprint in a row. In fact, she was the murder child in Ember Rising. And she was also she appeared on the phone on the Zoom call in Ali's film as like when we did like cross film characters. So she appeared in somebody else's film in that round as well, and it's her third, and she made it to Best Actor. So congrats to Courtney and Anna both for breaking through in individual awards in your third round. And congrats again to Ethan. The music was so good in this round. Lots of love for you in the chat, by the way. This is a direct quote from Deming.
Thank
Oh my
you.
god, the Fright Sprint guy. Your music was so good. I tweeted about it to like all 100 followers of mine because it was amazing. I hate that all Ethans are hot, but Ethan continues to prove that fact. So there you go. Congrats on that. Wolfman is consistently one of the most complimented teams by Deming in our in our various chats. For not only being talented, but for being very attractive to Deming. So good work to that for all of you. Congrats. I I think Lacey got. I think. Yeah. I think some of the folks who stayed late on that filmmaker call got to have a lot of fun in that. Just one of the great things about our community, I guess, would be another way to talk about that. You'll eventually get called beautiful by our by Deming. Thank you. I'm very discerning. She says in the chat. Hey Joel, you still don't have a camera, right?
Oh yeah, no, I don't got a camera.
All right, cool. We'll talk about your what you did here on this one.
Yeah, no, I was kind of just there helping out, lending a hand. I got shot in the car, stuff like that.
He also recorded on a second camera, so everything, almost all the sound you hear is his, because he had a lapel mic hooked to his camera that Chris is wearing. So he, for the most part, was the audio as well.
Awesome. So
I'm just. What did you guys? Well, you said it was a A7 III that you guys filmed on.
Oh yeah, that's right. You commented on my post from the last. Yeah, we use a Sony A7 III. It's what we've used for the. Actually, I think for all of our film sprints. It's a good camera, though.
It was great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Here's a question
We are
from the
big
chat
fans
for
of
y'all.
Airlifts.
This is, I guess, can be a question for everybody. Do you guys keep stories and ideas that you don't use for later, or do you just kind of cherry pick ideas off them for future submissions?
Yeah. I'm willing to admit that Christopher has a notebook. He has a little notebook of ideas. But I mean, we come up with different things, and so we do keep them. But most of the time when we make a film, it really is a spontaneous idea. We have things like stored for later, but we have not used one of them yet, if that makes sense.
We sit on, we still have different versions of Crimson Hammer as a horror movie that we never used. That was actually, if we had pulled Slasher for Fright Sprint, Deming would be excited to hear this. We were going to do a slasher film that was the Crimson Hammer as the slasher. But we generally recite, we come up with a lot of our stuff on the spot. The guy who did a lot of our cinematography, Joseph, he has a twin brother, Emerson, who was the roommate in Crimson Hammer. And he's not on this call. He's not even credited, but a lot of the time he hops on the Zoom call in our production Discord. And he, more often than not, throws out some stupid line that turns out to be our film. So he was the one when we were sitting down writing Checkmate. He said, he was like, what if it's a guy caring for his wife and the wife gets kidnapped? That was him. He helped me come up with Crimson Hammer. And then for this, he said, what if it's like a walkthrough guide to heisting? So that kid's random brain ideas tend to end up as what we actually make. Don't Wake Him was Karina's idea. But yeah, as Karina said, a lot of the time we come up with a lot of ideas and throw a lot of stuff at the wall, but we save a lot of them for later because for whatever reason it might not fit in a sprint setting, but we could definitely make it at a later time.
Here's another question from the chat. At what point when drafting do you go, this one, like this idea, how do you, what for y'all, I mean, anybody, this question for everybody. At what point in the sort of pursuit of developing an idea do you stop trying to cast about for new ideas and go let's focus in on this one and develop it? Is there anything in particular that moment that stands out for y'all that you can describe?
For Wolfman specifically, I think that it really came down to constraints and what we can do. For anybody who's just entering into a film sprint, it's incredibly difficult to get something that you're personally proud of done. I think Ryan can speak more on that, but a lot of it is constraint for sure.
Yeah. I'll make this quick because I want to hear what everyone else has to say about this, but I definitely have kind of a reputation on our team from shitting on our ideas, sorry for the kids watching, until it's basically finished. And even still, I'm never entirely happy. There was a day that we were writing for another film festival, and Karina witnessed this madness where she and Chris came over. We wrote for 12 hours. Halfway to their drive back to San Francisco. This wasn't for a film sprint again, but halfway on their drive back from San Francisco, I called them and said I wanted to go with a different direction. So I threw out 12 hours, and we ended up that film won nationally and ended up still in contention to be in a package on Amazon Prime. So it worked out.
But we were gonna kill you. We were gonna kill you, Ryan.
And that's the thing.
We were gonna kill you.
Especially with these, there comes to a point where we're looking at the time and it's like we can't make the perfect idea. So at some point, no matter how rough around the edge it is, you got to just take it and run with it. And I think for this one, it was like probably 11:30 or 12 that we finally decided on something that we were going to go with, starting immediately after the call at like 6 or whenever. So a good 4.5, 5 hours of that. But yeah, I want to hear what everyone else says about that, because I don't think our process is healthy. So please.
I'll talk about my process because it's the complete opposite. In a sense that basically that I have an idea and I want to try to get to it at 100%, and no matter what happens.
Go on.
That I'm sorry. It's so weird because all of a sudden everyone wants silence. So, but basically, my process of thinking is, I want to get to something. I want, like my last one, I want to be like, I want to do like a cat and mouse kind of game. I want to chase something. So I chased my own shadow. My previous one for Sprite Sprint was, I want to give birth to myself. So I gave birth to myself. So I have these ideas of what I want to do, but then how to get there, I kind of just come as it goes. I'm like, okay, we got to start filming, because I know I'm more on a time constraint than anyone else because I work on the weekends. So I was like, I got to do something. We'll get there eventually.
Honestly, Jason, if there's any person that I want more insight into your crop process, it's you, truly. Because there's so many things that you've done that I'm like, literally, how did a person decide to do this? If anything, this was around where I felt like you played it a little more mainstream, even though, again, your first shot is somebody with like totally gutted. Spectacular. I mean, I know Chad and Courtney, I know y'all talked about I mean, Chad, you've told me that you do like commercials and stuff in your professional life.
Yeah. So a lot of times from one that comes up with the concepts, so I have to come up with something quickly, and also I'm limited as far as resources and gear. I'm good, but people and stuff like that, not so good. So I have to figure out a way to shoot very minimal crews and with, very little actors. So usually my ideas start with, what do I think would be pretty cool, and what do I actually have? And
then he's like Ryan, who it will be like done filming and like in the editing process, and he's like, I fucking hate this. Let's reshoot everything. We're starting over. This story sucks. It's like, that's not I wish that was an exaggeration. It is not an exaggeration.
With like also like working with, because I'm like the head of a department, so like my goal is to go in when their video is like 45 seconds and go, nope, too long. I got to get it down to 30 seconds in order for it to get time. Or so like I go in and try to condense and get to the meat of stuff as quickly as possible in a lot of the stories and with a lot of the ideas that I have.
And we're also like almost completely opposite in our processes too. So usually when we get to our idea, it's the one that we finally stop like yelling at each other over. And so that's how we know, okay, this is the idea, is because we both aren't trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
we're also very healthy as filmmakers together.
We get mad at each other during the process of trying to make
I don't even like him really
films or really do anything creative, because we have such different tastes in everything, and especially movies. And she's a lot more into like romantic comedies, and I'm a lot more into your pretentious like art house shit. And then I also make ads, so it's weird. It's a weird conflict that I have, and I'm like Ryan in the sense that I'd never like anything that I make.
No.
Even the good stuff.
He
you
could be
know.
like accepting an award like on a national stage and be like, you know what, guys, this was terrible. I don't even know why you gave me this award. Thanks, though.
Yeah. I really took this as an opportunity to try to work on, because other than writing, I'm trying to become a better like with lighting and stuff like that. So just wanted to make sure the lighting looked good on this one.
Good job, buddy.
So that was my main goal, and I thought that the lighting looked okay.
Thought so too. Oh, hello. Hello, child's head.
Here's Jack. Here's a feral child that's wandered in. But
yeah.
Anybody else? I actually really like hearing how
Yeah.
this processes work.
I loved it when you rushed her, like threw her, tacked her. I love that.
Whoa!
I wanted to see her feet. I wanted to see her feet up in the air, going like that.
Oh man.
That actually truly scared me. Like it really did scare me. And then Chad had to comfort me afterwards because
it was scary.
We're not like actors like that. He really did choke me. First of all, the noise I'm making is not acting. He leaned way too hard.
Apparently, when you die, almost you make kind of a funny fake sounding noise.
What? I
have to say something on her behalf, actually, because for acting, we've never used her in anything. Usually, she's behind camera, helping me with stuff, and
she's good.
She started crying at the, she's like, second, sorry. Help him, Mama.
Speaking of crying.
All right.
Speaking.
She was like, give me a second and I'll cry. And I'm like, okay. So I just sit there, and then she just starts crying, and then I'm like, to me, I'm thinking like, how many times have I been fooled by this?
It's the trauma. I channeled some trauma and made myself
right.
cry. That's how I don't know how to fake cry. So
that was great. That was great.
This is a total left turn, but this is what it's like hanging out with me. Does anybody remember there was a Saturday Night Live sketch when Susan Lucci was on back in like the 90s, and it was her and Phil Hartman, and the premise of the sketch was that he was asking her how she's so good at crying on camera, and she says, "Oh, I just remember this really personal traumatic memory," and he's like, "Really, what?" And so she like tells him this whole really grisly story, and then he starts crying so much from the story that he wins Best Actor at like the awards or whatever, and she still hasn't won an Emmy, and he goes up, he accepts the award and tells her story like it's his story, and it's like a grisly, it's like his mom was decapitated by a train or something, like just a horrible. Anyway, I don't know what made me think of that. Deming said, "Sorry, no, I'm young, Jeremy. I don't know what you mean. That's hurtful." Where's my feelings? Here's another great question from the chat, and we'll probably make this our last question before we wrap it up for the evening. Everybody, just to step in when you have an answer. What's your personal method of breaking through writer's block? Jason's like, don't know what that is.
I love music.
Alcohol, drinking.
Says Dina. Yeah. Every now and then, an altered state of mind can give an altered perspective, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking and jumping in the swimming pool that's like 30 degrees right now. Oh.
Music and getting like 30 minutes without having to chase children around. I can usually break the block.
I'm glad those days are over.
It is good too to like have a group of people that you're like, I mean, especially with like Wolfman, we have a bunch of people that we're like like shooting ideas around with, and so you'll be stuck in the zone, and then I feel like someone will say something, and then it'll like pick you up out of it,
right?
Or you're like, oh wait, no, yeah, it can be different. It doesn't have to be the way that I'm stuck in right now. It can be another way around that like actually does make sense, which isn't helpful for like when you're writing on your own, but like having a collaborative experience is really fun because like you can pull yourself out of things when you don't know you can, because someone else just says something offhanded, like they just say something and you're like, wait,
Go back.
Wait, that actually
Run
helps.
that back.
Chocolate, donuts, liquor, and
I agree with that process.
A bottle of wine doesn't help. Yeah, I'll admit.
I get a lot of
I
inspiration
don't
from other stuff.
Other
that
movies,
I watch.
yeah, that's a thing for me
So
too.
it might be a line or something that is said in a film or like hear it in a song or something, and I can base something around that, or I mean, I guess that's where I usually draw most of the stuff. And these days I watch a lot of instead of skipping the ads, I watch them. Like where the kids, get this, I want to get to the YouTube show.
It's so annoying.
No, wait, this is how daddy makes the money. Let me watch this.
Sure. I used to do that kind of
I guess
stuff. Go, Jason.
I guess for me, the way that I get away with it is that I jumble everything up inside my head personally. If you get to know me, sometimes I say things out of order, or I speak out of order. And basically the whole idea of me doing a screenplay is, it's all over the place, and basically I get to have the fun of scrambling what I just told or have an idea of, and that's basically how I do it. So I basically screw myself over in order for me to get on the right road.
Well, sometimes if you think of the end, and then that's kind of your begin. I'm not your beginning, but it's like this is how I want it to end, and then kind of go back. Just saying.
I know with me for the sprint, I have to look at my genre and then at the elements that have to be in there.
Yeah.
And I try to go over as many different ways. And sometimes really creative is great, and then other times I'm like, I'm making this way too complicated.
Right.
But
go.
It's fun to kind of go on a tangent and then come back.
Or you
then
can't
I don't
find your
screw up and
costume,
don't forget
and
an
you're like,
element.
oh my god.
Here's another question for the filmmakers. This is from Deming, who wants to know, Dina.
Costumes, what are those? We just
got the costume.
Deming wants to know when Dina's throwing a pool party for everybody. Dina, your thoughts?
Anytime.
we
finally,
everybody's gonna have to get out to Macon, but other than that, it's
really down, up, whatever. Because it is awesome, and we finally put the thicker liner on it.
That's nice.
And my husband's, I don't know if y'all watched Andy Griffith's show before, but okay. Remember how Aunt B had this freezer on the back porch, and she never would call the man, and Andy kept saying, call the man, Aunt B, call the man. So my husband's like brilliant brain wise, but with light bulbs and stuff, and he kept saying, I'll fix it. So this has been about 4 or 5 years in the going, and sometimes it'd be green as pea soup. So now he's hired the man that comes like every week. So it's still blue now. I could go jump in it, but I'm not totally insane yet. But come, yes, please come.
Sounds great.
Got plenty of room.
I'll just, does anybody have any parting thoughts on this round or Film Sprint in general? They're just bursting to get out of them before we call it an evening here.
Can we write it off on our taxes?
I won't tell you not to. You're just gonna have to figure out a great way to do it. Professional development, yeah. That'd be what I'd say.
Hey, I get W-2 from the background stuff.
Deming says yes, and I guess that I'm hoping our benefactor would know more about that as well.
Yeah.
I just appreciate the heck out of all y'all. This is such a wonderful thing that I get to spend some of my time on, and your work, all of you, is so inspiring to me. I really, just to see, especially in this round, where to see all of you in some way kind of step up see Courtney step out in front of the camera and be, you know, appreciated for your performance, and Dina, to see you like find some focus and really focus on telling a good story here.
Right.
And, you know, Jason, another step forward where you're trying like complex, you know, layers of video kind of effect shots. Like Lacey, your film was so cool, and to see you step out and try to do it one totally on your own without other people on the team with you that, you know, were legal adults, that was so cool. And of course, Wolfman, y'all took another step just in leveling up. Some scenes that are among my favorites I've seen in any of these competitions. Like, your film is, I mean, I think a top 10 of so far of what we've seen easily. This didn't get called on, I don't think, in our you know, little video edit of the judges review, but it definitely was talked about. The chemistry between Karina and Chris in those scenes was so strong. It's so fun to watch. When Karina was like reading the line about breaking a human neck, like moments before Chris was like reciting them, I thought that was so just like stunning and cool, and worked so beautifully. The knife shot was like, I mean, you know, we've got a lot of people who are professional video people who are like, how'd you do that? How'd you do it in 48 hours? How'd you do it so clean? And special thanks to Ryan for getting me that footage so I can put it up on our stream tonight. Thank you. And shout out to Ryan's cat. I'll echo this with Devin's words here, which is, I promise it's not trite messiness. I think you are all amazing, and I am in awe in the way that makes me sarcastic and weird. Thank you. For real, y'all are incredible. And yes, Dina's interrupting me. Yes, Dina.
Well, what did Ethan say when he said this is the seventh? Didn't he say seventh step?
You talking about Chris?
Did he say poo, or whoever the guy was?
Did he say poo? I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know. The you know, the fight in the garage with the knife and all was so cool. But he said, okay, this is I thought he said, this is step 7, you poo.
It was loot the house, I think.
Loot.
It
was loot.
Okay, thank you.
Grab the loot, wasn't it? Like, grab the loot.
And I'm like, well, I know when you die, you know, you kind of lose your bowels.
Really nervous before a
Step
heist.
7, if you got that poop heisted.
You've got IBS.
Oh, that movie. I know what you're talking about.
Oh boy.
Lady killers.
Well, on that spectacular note,
Sorry.
I do want to let y'all know one more thing that's coming up here. You know, obviously we got our next round coming in mid-March, but starting not this Thursday, but probably the following Thursday, I'm going to try to do one event a week here on the Twitch channel, whether it's like Jackbox games like we've done, where the filmmakers are invited to come join us and play games, whether it's you know, I might help Dina crack open Adobe Premiere and polish up her film a little bit. I know that was something we talked about doing. We'll probably do that on the Twitch channel at some point. More watch-alongs, deep dives, you know, stuff like that. If folks want to bring on their old work and we'll talk about it and do a showcase, that's a show form we've done before called Amateur Hour. So lots of ways that we want to just kind of keep a little bit more active, like ongoing stuff. So yeah, if you have cool non-film sprint films you'd like us to showcase here, y'all got it. My email, hit me up. We'll figure something out. It's going to be awesome. So y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for your continued support of Film Sprint.
Well, thank you.
Thanks to everybody watching along here on the Twitch
starting
stream.
This, and it's changed my life. It really has. So I want to thank everybody for putting up with me. But I'll be your mom, your grandma, your sister, your auntie, you know, whatever.
Thank you, Dina.
I have a lot of hats.
That's cool. Appreciate you. And I feel the same way about this community, honestly. Y'all are so wonderful. I'm so glad you're starting to get to know each other. Dina, Deming says, Dina, literally no one puts up with you. We are only in reflective awe. That's a good way of putting it. Pretty much, yeah, there's no other way to put it than that. Reflective all around, y'all. Congrats again to Wolfman on another big win. Your second in your last 2 attempts. That's pretty, as the kids say, unfuckwithable. You guys are killing it. Appreciate y'all.
I heard that.
And we'll be back with another round in just about a month from now. Starting in in 29
right.
days. Oh
I don't-
God,
I don't understand what it's about.
It's just
but hey.
it's just around where we're trying to do outreach with students. It's a normal film sprint. We're gonna have.
I mean, are we
it'll
gonna
be
do like
genres, it'll be elements.
cheerleaders or
Oh
what?
gosh, who's to say? We may have a college reference or two
Well,
in there.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't promise anything. Oh no, it's Mark Ruffalo. Well, that appearance by the mayor means that it's time to call it a night. Deming's got new ideas. They'll be talked about in our business meeting tomorrow and probably matriculated out to the Film Sprint faithful in the days to come.
Okay.
I'm Jeremy Wessler. Y'all are the Film Sprinters. This was a wonderful night, and thank you all for being a part of it.
Yeah,
So good
it
night to
was.
the Twitch stream. Good night, goodbye, and see you next time.